Hi, I'm Doug.
And I'm Cathy.
And this is Maggie Mae. Join us as we follow the moon. Today, we are going to explore the Petrified Forest National Park here in Arizona. There's actually a portion of Route 66, so this kind of ties in with our Route 66 videos we've been doing.
That's right.
And come along and let's explore the beauty of the Petrified National Park.
Thanks.
Now there's a north and a south entrance, and we started at the north entrance just off of Interstate 40. And the visitor center, you'll see the sign for it, but you kind of walk through the campus to come back to the visitor center itself. And they do have some of the history on the park, as well as the typical National Park Service gift shop. One thing that isn't typical, this is a pet-friendly park, so they even have a dog park out front.
It looked a little rough.
Yeah, no pun intended. But and you can take them on all the trails. So we started off today at the first viewpoint just past the visitor center, and this part, the northern part of the park, is painted desert, and it is absolutely incredible.
I heard of the painted desert years and years and years ago through a song, and who was it I was telling you? It's just called Painted Desert, and I really thought that was a description and not really a real place. Boy, was I surprised.
Yeah, I think you said Pat Benatar.
Oh, it was Pat Benatar, yes.
And the painted desert is beautiful. To me, this was a bonus because I'm thinking petrified trees, petrified wood. I wasn't expecting to see all of this. The colors were incredible. The skies were beautiful that day.
It is also considered a Badlands.
Yes. Yeah, and you kept saying as we were going through it how much it reminded you of Badlands National Park.
Yeah, yeah. You could just see forever.
Yeah, it is a beautiful, beautiful area. The road from the north entrance to the south entrance is 28 miles. We ended up and drove to the south entrance. This is the direction we're going now, and we'll turn around at the end, and we came back out this way, so we got to see it all twice, which was even better.
Yes, and I do think this was way more colorful, speaking of painted, that it was way more colorful than any of the Badlands we've seen so far.
Yeah, I agree. Now, just a short way in, and I think maybe the 2 or 3 miles in, you'll come to the Painted Desert Inn. And the Painted Desert Inn is set up, it's got a little snack bar in it. It's got a room that they actually had some native jewelry being sold there in it. It's a beautiful building. It's on the National Historic Register. But we do have a great viewpoint here that's actually at the back side of the Desert Inn. That is this Kachina Point.
And this is a short walk.
Yes.
I don't remember it was paved, I believe.
Yeah, this one I believe was paved. Some are paved, some are like compacted.
Dirt, gravel.
Yeah. But these are views you just do not tire of.
They're so dramatic.
Cathy got a picture of Maggie and I there. That was the path going back there. Now this is a picnic area, and there's covered picnic areas all the way around, like 3/4 of the way around a circle, which is parking for this viewpoint. This park has a lot of viewpoints.
Oh, it does.
If you don't want to do long hikes, you don't have to do long hikes here, and you'll still see everything. In fact, a lot of these viewpoints don't even have trails that go off of them, but there are some. And if you're looking for a long hike, there are some 2, 4, 6 mile hikes too. Now, when we got here to Pintado Point, it's a little bit of an incline up to the viewing area. But the view is just incredible.
It's so worth it, yeah.
And the color of the skies, I don't know if this pinkish color that's in the clouds was being reflected from the reds that were on the ground. I'm not sure where it was coming from, but it was just stunningly beautiful.
Yes, pictures and video do not give it justice.
Mm-hmm. Now, our next viewpoint that we stop off at, again, each one, you'll see a lot of the same colors, but very different lay of the land. This one, you can definitely see the higher ground and how it goes down into the desert. They give you different vantage points on every one of these.
And the clouds were amazing that day too. We did have a little bit of it looked like rain that wouldn't hit the ground as it was coming down, but it creates such amazing cloud formations.
And you will see some darker skies as we move on through the park, but we did real good.
We were real lucky. We did get some sprinkles on the way back though.
We did. And that was a day with no rain in the forecast, so don't always rely on your forecasts. Now we stop at Whipple Point. Now all of this area you've seen so far has been in the northern part of the park. We're all north of Interstate 40. And when you exit Interstate 40 to come into the park, you go north, but then the road kind of makes a 180 degree curve and starts to come back down south. So you've got the first probably 6 miles or so of the park north of Interstate 40 before you start going on into the southern part.
This was Lacey Point.
And again, you can see similarities in all of these, but they definitely all have their own personality.
And there was a lot of people out there. I don't think it was weekend.
No, it wasn't.
During the middle of the week.
And this is late March, so we're very early in the season.
Yes, it was cold.
Now, just to the north side of Interstate 40, you'll see this is where Route 66 actually came through the park. In fact, from what we can tell, that row of telephone poles that you see out there are the markers for where the road was. There's this 1932 Studebaker, or I guess I should say what remains of it,
Yes.
still out there.
Somebody got the tires.
Yeah. You can still see the flywheel through there, but there's no steering wheel, so I don't think you were going anywhere fast. So we cross Interstate 40. We're now officially in the southern part of the park. And as you cross Interstate 40, you've got probably a 3 or 4 mile drive that is just all this type of scenery. Don't give up on it. You haven't been through all the cool stuff and all the beautiful views. They're coming right back.
That's right.
Now, Puerco Pueblo is a site of foundational ruins of the Pueblo that was actually here on this land. And this little building here, they give you a little bit of background on that area. And yes, 66 ran right through the park. This is the only national park that was on or included Route 66. And here you can start to see some of the foundational ruins of the Pueblo.
It reminded me of Tuzagut.
Yeah, very much. What we didn't expect to see at this stop were petroglyphs. And that is supposed to be like a spirit face on that one. Some of these were really incredible.
That was very intricate right there.
It was supposed to be about migration, is what they figured that one to be. And you'll see them on the edges of some of these rocks down here, just below the viewing area. These are close that you can see them with the naked eye from where you're at very easily. Now this shows the fishing birds that were in the area, because at one point this was all underwater. And there you can see the fishing bird, and as we get a little bit closer, you'll even see, it looks like he's got a frog in his mouth that he's been hunting. So when you visit the park and you see Puerco Pueblo, it doesn't mention the ruins. Or the petroglyphs. I love the footprints there.
They're laying on their back, putting their foot up there.
But there are a great set of petroglyphs at this stop. And as this loop, and I believe it's 3/10 of a mile, it's a very, very short loop. As this loop starts to go back towards the parking lot, you'll also come across this kiwa. Newspaper Rock is our next stop, and that's the stop that's known for their petroglyphs.
What did they say? There were 800 on it?
Yeah, it was either 600 or 800. And they're a ways down from the viewing area. So with the naked eye, you can make out that there's things on these rocks. With Cathy's long lens, you could really see what all was on it.
And it was covered.
Yes. These rocks, I don't know if they had the petroglyphs put on them and then they have fallen, or if they had fallen and then they put the petroglyphs on them. I don't know which came first. But there you can see one that goes around the corner.
Yeah.
So, but these are rocks that are just laying down there, and they are covered with the petroglyphs.
Those darn kids.
Mm-hmm. So we got to see twice as many as what we were expecting. I guess that is graffiti before there was spray paint.
That's right.
Now from there we go into a section of the park called the Tepees. And the Tepees are these incredible rock formation. They're in a pyramid or teepee shape. And the colors on them are just unbelievable.
I've never seen blues in rock like that.
We were seeing a lot of blue and amethyst color in these. And if you don't think this area was underwater, take a look at these formations, because you can just follow all the way across the horizon and see the color changes as it goes across. But yeah, they are absolutely beautiful. Now next we'll actually make a left-hand turn off the main route and go to Blue Mesa. And Blue Mesa is I think it was 3.5 mile driving loop. And there are a couple of trails that go off of this area, and there's probably a half a dozen different pull-offs for you to catch the views. But there are some absolutely incredible views back here.
There's some off-the-road hikes as well that you could go down in. And with the weather the way it was kind of iffy if maybe we should not get down in there.
Yeah, we were kind of wanting to be sure that we saw everything while we were here, but keep things moving so that we wouldn't get rained out.
Yeah.
That log that you saw from the distance, this is a close-up of it. Some of the petrified wood you start to see in this area is incredible. But as they say, you ain't seen nothing yet. I had a big education on petrified wood.
Now, we also were reading about the area being like a jungle.
Mm-hmm.
This was
like a tropical rainforest.
Yes, it was a forest. And they had a gator type of animal that you said was 17 foot long.
And grows up to 2,100 pounds. And we'll actually show you one of those a little bit later here.
It is amazing to think, or we've seen as we traveled, areas that had changed over millions of years, and you can see remnants of their past life.
Definitely. You hear about people out in the desert finding shark's teeth. It just totally blows your mind as far as our world today is nothing like what our world used to be.
That's right.
Now you're seeing changes in the colors. We had the bluish colors after we had the reddish colors, and now we're getting more of these whites. You drive just a short ways and you'll see something entirely different.
That's right.
And do keep in mind, this has all been within a 28-mile stretch. Now, you go through that little area there, and it takes you to the Agate Bridge. This I wouldn't even call a hike. It's just a very short walk off the parking lot. That is the longest single tree, 110 feet long. This is the very end of it. And it looks over across that ravine. Now they have went through and put a concrete beam underneath it to reinforce it so that it didn't crack and disintegrate. But it's enormous. Speaking of enormous, the Jasper Forest. Hard to look at that land and think of it being a forest. But when you start to look out across it, you see all of these pieces of petrified wood. This is where it really kind of boggled my mind. All of those little pieces that you see out there are chunks of petrified wood. They're not rocks that are laying there or anything like that.
Now, the process of petrifying comes from the trees being underwater for a long time, that they don't just dry up and disintegrate. They literally turn to stone.
That's
underwater.
Right. And there again, you'll just see huge pieces of petrified wood dotting the landscape, even there. Now the next area is Crystal Forest, and these are very unique pieces of petrified wood in this area, and this has got a small walking trail loop. But these actually have turned into crystals inside.
They are beautiful.
Yeah, and all the colors, and they glisten in the sunlight. That one has the vein going all the way down the length. It reminded me of what you see with those live edge tabletops, the way they're made.
Yeah.
All of those colors. And they're just everywhere. It's tempting because they tell you not to leave the path, but there's some that you see that's like you wish you could really get right up close to.
And some of them are right there.
No, there's some beautiful ones right there along the path. Now we're continuing south, and we're nearing the southern edge of the park. And when you get there, you'll see the Rainbow Forest Museum. This is at the south entrance. And I wanted to show you something Cathy had talked about a moment ago. This creature, which was a dinosaur. I put my hand up there so you could get an idea of how large the head is. That's the entire body. Well, Cathy, what did you think about our day at the Petrified Forest National Park?
It was surprisingly amazing. It was just like the Badlands. I mean, it's just amazing.
When we were at Joshua Tree, they had a big thing down there about a couple of petrified logs. They were fenced off.
Yes.
And that's kind of what I expected. I didn't expect it to be like thousands of petrified logs. Plus the painted desert was a bonus.
Yes.
There was so much to see. And it's on Route 66.
That's right. That's right.
So with that, if you've enjoyed the video today, leave us a thumbs up. We appreciate it. If you haven't already subscribed, watch for the button up here at the end. If you tap that button, ring the notification bell, you'll know when all of our videos come out. And there's many, many more National Park videos that'll be coming out this fall. So be sure to watch for those.
And thank you for following us as we follow the moon.